Who's there?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Is the Silent Hill 2 remake faithful to the original? Is it woke, or is it really, really good? Hi, my name is Young Noodle, and today we're going to be talking about the Silent Hill 2 remake that just released by Bloober Team, and if it's faithful to the original remake. Now, Bloober Team, the developers for this game, have worked on a number of different games. They've done Observer, The Medium, Layers of Fear 2, Blair Witch, etc. So this is their, if not their biggest project that they've worked on, and they seem to be only focused, or mainly focused, on a lot of horror and thriller games. I don't know if they're going to branch out afterwards, but that seems to be their strong suit. But a lot of people worried with this remake because of the fact that they've never taken on something this big. Silent Hill 2, the original, is in a lot of people's hearts as their favorite horror and thriller game of all time, and their favorite game in the franchise. So this is something that's very important to a lot of people, and as you know, with a lot of culture with remakes and remasters and stuff like that, they're usually done pretty lazily, just as cash grabs. So basically, I'm going to be giving my perspective on the game so far. I have not beat it yet, but I've put in at least over 10 hours as of right now recording this video, and I'm not going to lie, I've been enjoying it a lot. Now, take my opinion lightly, because I've only played Silent Hill 3 when I was younger, and I've never actually really delved into the Silent Hill franchise. So as far as it being faithful to the original remake, I won't exactly know. But as a remake in general, as a game that stands up to whether it's worth the price point right now and whether you should play it, I'm gonna say yeah. The remake is amazing. The story is amazing, and the way the game looks, the detail, the gameplay, and everything is it stands up to a new release. And it is a little bit expensive, actually. Canadian dollar wise, it's around $93 Canadian, which is around, I believe it's like $65 or $60 US, something like that, which is pretty pricey for a remake. Most remakes you'll see like 30 to 40 to 50 bucks, but like this is like a full price game. So obviously you're looking at that price tag and you're thinking, you know, this is a remake, it's not a brand new game, so is it going to be worth playing? And they've put enough detail in it that I'd say yes. I wouldn't even wait for a sale for this. This is something, it's October, it's spooky month, and this is something that out of any game that's coming out right now, I wouldn't miss it. Silent Hill 2 stands up to be a top horror game. I love games like Dead Space. I love playing horror games and stuff like that, and this is something that really scratched that itch for that genre for me, and it plays smooth as butter. There is a little couple issues here and there for it being a new release. It's not perfect, but as of story wise, gameplay wise, and stuff like that, it's not something to complain about. Other than me basically saying that it's great and that you should pick it up, I will give my fair warning to certain things that I did not like with the remake so far. And one being the performance a little bit. When it does run, it runs smooth as butter. Like I said, it's like amazing, and I'm on a bit above mid-tier PC. It's not anything crazy, but it's more than enough to run a game like this. And there were certain areas where the most common thing that would happen was between 3 to 5 hours of gameplay, the game would start hitching, and it would kind of play. The best way that I can explain it is if you were alt-tabbed and the game was minimized. When you get that kind of low frame rate, power consumption mode that games do when you're tabbed out of it, if you're on a computer. I did play this on PC, just to preface that, but it does that every 3 to 5 hours of gameplay. Now this is less than a week after release, so, or about a week of release, so it's I would say it's excusable. It's not unplayable. A quick restart of the game usually fixes it. I went into the files and the exe of the game and put it to high priority mode, and that ended up fixing it for the most part for me. But I can understand frustration for people. There's a lot of overwhelmingly positive reviews on this game that overlap anybody that has performance issues. So when you look at the reviews at face value, you don't actually see anybody with problems. Everybody is really, really loving this remake, but there are a handful of people that do have issues, and I was one of them, and so just keep that in mind if you are planning on playing the game, that the performance issues are there. It's not a perfect, you know, it's not a perfect remake. It's not a perfect launch and everything like that. There is issues, but it's not something to deter you from playing the game. And there's always going to be false stuff online that says, you know, terrible reviews and people who really shouldn't technically have an opinion on certain things because they never actually give it a full go, but their opinion still gets passed around, or people who haven't even touched the game are still going to be saying negative things about it. And I'm here to tell you that they didn't force anything into the game. Playing the game as far as I have, there's nothing that feels like it doesn't belong, nothing that feels like it's forced into it. It just feels like a really good thriller horror game with a really interesting story that's got a really weird vibe, and it's good. It's like, what can I say? It's good. Other than the performance issues, and there's one more thing I want to talk about that I did not enjoy about the game. It stands up, man. It's good. I've been like sucked into the world of it, and I've been loving it. And like games like Silent Hill 2 and like Alan Wake and Dead Space and all these games that are like that type of like horror thriller atmosphere that give you like a weird creepy vibe, and all you're really doing, you could feel creeped out just walking around, and the atmosphere does it. Like they've nailed it. The fog, the way the level like pushes you into exploring, it's really well done, and it doesn't handhold you. You get to explore. That's another thing that a lot of games do that they don't really it's very hard to nail down, is the exploring aspect of games. Sometimes it feels forced, or sometimes you feel like you're making no progress when you go the wrong way. This game is not one of those games. You could be going the wrong way and still find something, or you can be going the right way and still feel like you don't want to progress because you want to go back and check out the area that you just missed. So it's very, very well done, to the point that it just feels like you are actually James exploring and not knowing where you are, and you're just kind of feeling everything out as you go, and that atmosphere is perfectly done. The one thing that I did want to complain about, I guess not complain, it's more just like something I noticed, the combat. Now, it's 50-50 from what I've seen, where people actually say that they like the combat and it's more intuitive, and other people who are saying that they don't like it and it's their least favorite part. The combat is very, very, very based on dodge and attack mechanics, and then there's the gunplay and stuff like that, which is a little bit more put into this game from what I've heard than the remake, or than the original. So the original tend to have more focus on finding ammo and stuff like that. This one tends to hand it out to you a little bit more. But the melee combat is something that I'm not a fan of. It's very reminiscent of if you've played Callisto Protocol, where you generally dodge, attack, and you gotta see whether it's worth taking another swing, or you gotta dodge and time your swings. Now, it's not really anything intuitive or anything like that. Varies. Most of the enemies that you fight, at least up until this point, unless it's boss fights and stuff like that, most of the combat is generally the same. So the game really strives on the horror element and the environment and all that stuff, but the actual combat itself, when you do have to fight and when you are forced to fight, it's not really clicking with me. It's very like, I would rather avoid combat at times because of how simplistic it is and how repetitive it is. But the puzzle solving and stuff like that, the puzzle solving is really well done. Like I've out of all games, horror games and anything combined, puzzle solving in this game, and the fact that you can ramp up the difficulty for puzzles specifically, it's really cool. When it comes between physical puzzles and rhymes and things that you have to figure out through notes or stuff on the wall, it's so well done and intuitive that it doesn't feel tedious. So that's been one of my favorite parts of the game so far, other than the atmosphere, is the puzzle solving. They did an amazing job on that. Not everything is directly in front of your face. You still have to think and actually solve stuff. It's not generally always easy, and I think that that's one of the most fun parts about the game, is the puzzle solving. And lastly, in Silent Hill fashion, one of the best parts about the game is the music. I don't really need to say too much about this, but the Silent Hill soundtrack really makes the game all come together. Probably, again, one of my other favorite things about it. The music really just ties everything and is the cherry on top.
Hey, who's there?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Hey, are you okay?
I didn't do anything. He was like that when I got here.
Oh, you mean the man back there? In the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill him.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not saying that you did. Look, my name is James. James Sunderland.
So perfect. So at the end of the day, regardless of what you see online for the game, I would personally pick it up regardless of a sale or not a sale. It's probably one of my favorite horror thriller games that I've played this year. This remake was great, and I think they did an amazing job, and I'm excited to see if they do the other Silent Hill games to give me an opportunity to play them. But I can't really speak too much for someone who's played the original Silent Hill games. I don't want to be that person that says, like, yeah, sure, it's great, it's completely faithful, and they did everything better. But I do want to kind of say, from what I've seen, I tried to do a little bit of research on the original games and then look at this one. A remake should make it so that you have no reason, if not any little reason, to play the original game. The remake should replace it. It is a modern day remake of the game from the ground up. Anytime there's a remake done, Dead Space was my favorite remake that has been released horror-wise for a long time, and that gives you no reason to play the original. And like I said, I can't really say too much for Silent Hill, because for Dead Space I did play the original. For Silent Hill 2 I have not, but I do want to say, from the research that I've done, it's safe to say that there's no reason to play the original. This is a perfect, or almost perfect, replacement, other than a couple small things that can just instantly be patched. So I'd say, again, pick up the game. It's a great play, whether you played the originals or not. And yeah, I'm enjoying playing it. I'm gonna continue playing it, and later this week hopefully I'll end up beating it. And yeah, I've just been enjoying all the Halloween stuff that's coming out. In the comments, let me know if there's any games that you want me to play. I know there's a couple games that I've missed out that I haven't actually tried. Observer is actually one of the games that I haven't played. Soma, and the Alien Isolation game, I have to try that too. There's a lot of horror games that I haven't tried out yet, so yeah, if there's any indie games especially that I haven't tried out yet on stream, let me know, and let me know in the comments, and I could always do videos on those too, because you know what, this is one of my favorite things, just trying out all these games that I'm kind of disappointed in myself on not trying Silent Hill 2 when I was younger, but you know what, it's never too late. Here we are, we're on the remake, and yeah, it's actually done well. So yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.